What's up guys, Blade Master here, back after a long hiatus where I didn't have my PC, but I do now, and it's off to start making some Total War Attila videos. And this is the first video that I'm going to make in Total War Attila. I'm going to be talking about the fatigue mechanics in Total War Attila and how best to kind of manage them, and just basically give a description of the different stages of fatigue and how they affect your units. So for the uninitiated, there are 6 total levels of fatigue. We have fresh, active, winded, tired, very tired, and exhausted. They affect a total of 3 categories. They affect melee attack, reload rate, and movement speed. It looks like this might be a bit different from Total War Rome 2. I think in Total War Rome 2 a few more categories were affected, but it doesn't seem so in Attila. So on the one hand, you have units which tire very quickly, fatigue seems to set in very quickly, but on the other hand, it doesn't seem, well, this could be completely wrong on my part, but it seems to affect a limited number of categories as compared to Rome 2. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the different stages of fatigue. So from fresh, you have your melee attack, reload rate, and movement speed are all fine. Active, however, your speed drops down by 5%. You now would move at 95% of your original speed. However, your melee attack and reload rates are not affected at all. Now, the threshold for active, which is basically the time that it takes to get from fresh to active, is set at 1000. Now, I'm not really sure how that translates. Actually, I can find out, or we all can find out during the second part of this video. But the more important than that is what this 1000 translates, more than what 1000 translates to in in-game minutes, is how it compares to the rest of the fatigue levels. So for now, just keep in mind that from fresh to active, the threshold is 0 to 1000. And it only affects speed by 5%. The third stage of, the second stage of fatigue is active. If we count the second stage of fatigue as active, the third stage of fatigue is winded. Now, winded, the threshold is 3000. So from fresh to active, it goes from 0 to 1000. Now the threshold distance is doubled, so from 1000 to 3000. So it basically takes double the time to get winded from active as it does from fresh to active. Now, when you go from active to winded, you suffer some severe penalties. Melee attack goes down to 0.85, so you have a penalty of 15% to melee attack, 15% penalty to reload speed, and 10% penalty to movement speed. So right now at winded, your units will be, your units' melee attack would be at 85%, your units' reload speed would be at 85%, and the movement speed would be at 85% as well. Coming to the fourth fatigue state, at tired, the threshold penalty is increased the threshold distance is increased even more. From 3000, the threshold for tired is 6000. So now it is basically triple the time that it takes from fresh to active as it would from winded to tired. So it is a pretty long time it takes a pretty long time to get from winded to tired, and the penalties really aren't that high. I mean, considering the amount of time that it takes to get from winded to tired, the only penalties that you would be suffering is a 5% reduction across all stats. So from 0.85, so basically from 85%, your units will now be fighting at 80% and moving at 80% of their original speed. Again, doesn't seem to be a very huge impact, especially considering the extensive amount of time it takes to get from winded to tired. From tired to very tired, the threshold distance is the same. You go from 6000 to 9000, which means it takes the same amount of time from winded to tired as it would from tired to very tired. And the penalties are slightly higher here. You are now fighting, or there is basically a 10% decrease across all categories. Right now, at very tired, your units will be fighting at 70% melee attack, firing at 70% of their original reload speed, and moving at 70% of their original movement speed. Finally, from very tired to exhausted, we have double the threshold distance from 9000 to 15,000. So basically a 6,000 threshold penalty, which means it takes double the time from tired to very tired to get to very tired to exhausted. So it basically takes a really long time to get from very tired to exhausted. And corresponding to that, there is a very, very small penalty to get from very tired to exhausted. The units now only take a 5% decrease across all categories. So at exhausted, your units will only be fighting at 65% of their original melee attack, fighting at 65% of their original reload speed, and moving at 65% of their original movement speed. Now, taking a closer look at the stats and what they mean, basically, you need to the main thing you need to worry about is the initial fatigue penalty. The 15% reduction across all stats from getting from fresh to winded is really massive, and that is not something that and that is not the case when you're going from winded to tired to very tired. So basically you really need to manage your units fatigue initially. So always keep only walk with these units before you get into battle. Make sure your charge distances are not too far, and you only need to run when you absolutely need to, because once they get into combat they're going to start suffering fatigue penalties anyways, and the game is kind of made up for that by reducing the fatigue penalties when you get to the later stages of fatigue. So from tired to very tired, the reduction is at 10% from tired to very tired, which is bad. But from winded to tired, there's only a 5% decrease. From very tired to exhausted, there's only a 5% decrease across all categories. So basically what this boils down to is manage your units' fatigue very efficiently at the start of the battle, and you should be good for the rest of the match. For the second part of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to manage fatigue more effectively using a pretty unorthodox way, which I'm not really sure was there in Rome 2, or whether it was even, and obviously even if it was there, it wouldn't have been very effective. If that doesn't make sense, just wait a couple of seconds and you will know why. So here we have 4 Equites Promoti that are going to be running in a straight line and basically going to have like a foot race amongst each other. And the purpose of this is to show you guys how fatigue is managed by basically upgrading your units. Specifically, a fatigue resistance of +1 is applied when your units get to rank 5. There's an additional +1 to fatigue resistance at rank 7, and a final +1 fatigue resistance at rank 9, which is basically triple gold chevron. So we have 4 Equites Promoti. One is with 0 experience chevrons. The one to its left is at rank 7, which means it has +2 fatigue resistance. The one in the middle has +1 fatigue resistance because it is at a rank 5 double silver chevron. And finally, at the leftmost, we have a triple gold chevron Equites Promoti, which means it has the maximum fatigue resistance. So we'll try and compare how how the fatigue resistance applies when you have basically the upgraded version of the same unit. So let's this starts at 240. Actually, yeah, let's put it in slow motion. Let's see when I effectively give the order to run. 238, 237. Let's put this on play. Yeah, we start at 237. I'm going to hold spacebar to see. Okay, so we are at 237. Everyone is fresh, and let's see. 225. So 12 seconds for the 2 units or for the Equites Promoti to get with the no experience chevrons to get active. All units are active at this point. Let's see if it still makes a difference. So we can see that at 12 seconds is really hardly any amount of time. Now we have the Equites Promoti at winded. Next is this Equites Promoti at rank 5. Still, only now the with +2 fatigue resistance Equites Promoti getting to winded, and still we have the triple gold at active, and only now they're at winded. So you can see that there's a huge difference in the fatigue resistance between a triple gold and a no gold or no experience rank Equites Promoti, and the effect is not as apparent with rank 5. But in the with +2 and +3 fatigue resistance, the effect of this fatigue resistance really is very apparent. Now we can see tired, still winded on the on rank 5. Now we can see tired on rank 5. Rank 7 is still winded. Only now it's tired. Wow, rank 9 just holding strong, still winded. Is this very tired? No. But yeah, you can see the huge differential. And now, so when the Equites Promoti with no XP is very tired. The triple gold is only tired and only just got tired. Very tired. So all three other units are tired. This one is exhausted now. We can see very tired, still tired, tired. So basically when the no experience chevron Equites Promoti is exhausted, the triple gold, the maximum rank with +3 fatigue resistance Equites Promoti is only tired, so a complete 2 fatigue levels above it, which basically translates to 15% extra melee stats and movement speed, which kind of shows, I mean, you can see the small little differential between the two, which means that this unit is kind of faster. Speed at 75, speed at 75, it doesn't really show too much though. That's simply because I moved up in front and then I made the move around. So just because of the way I used this test, it kind of doesn't show the speed differential between the two. But I can assure you that there is a pretty big speed differential, simply because it takes longer for one unit to get fatigued than the other. So let's take a look at the results. Exhausted for the no XP. The rank 5 one is very tired. The rank 7 one is only tired, and of course the rank 9 one is also only at tired. So in terms of fatigue management, rank 5 is there is a difference, you can see, but the difference is more apparent only in the very long term. As for rank 7, it's kind of in the middle, but rank 9 you can see a huge disparity between the two fatigue levels between the no XP and the rank 9 XP Equites Promoti. So if you are looking at horse archers or shock cavalry, that units that you want to keep charging in and running around for a long period of time, maybe investing some money into either rank 5 or rank 7 or rank 9 would make sense, because that would make these units more resistant to fatigue, and especially if you put them with a triple gold chevron, that fatigue resistance will become very, very apparent. So anyways guys, hope you enjoyed this video about the mechanics of fatigue in Total War Attila, and stay tuned for more. Peace.